Chambers, the roll call, Sarah. Tyler.
Here.
Grady.
Here.
Jody. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, number 2, approval of minutes from previous meeting. Any corrections on the minutes of last meeting?
I move to accept the minutes as written on from March 11th.
Sarah?
Aye.
Tyler?
Aye.
Green?
Aye.
Jody?
Aye.
Number 3, claims and payroll. Any questions on claims and payroll?
Courtney was busy. Did your hand hurt?
I most of those.
Oh, interesting, yeah. And we move that we accept the check, or what, the payroll, not payroll, claims and what is it?
Claims and payroll.
Thank you. As presented by them.
Second.
I'll second that.
Sarah? Tyler?
Aye.
Green?
Aye.
Jody?
Aye.
Number 4, reports. Manager, Julie.
Good evening. So a couple things that we've talked about at the last council meeting. Again, my contract will be up later this evening. Clark and Anderson update. So Tom and myself, Tom is my maintenance man, and I have done a Zoom with Tim, just kind of looking over some different options, looking at different drawings that have been presented. At this time, the next step is to do some dirt work or get samples for the geographic testing. He has provided me a bid with 3 different companies. I will take that to my April 30th meeting and let the board bring that back to you at the next council meeting. We missed it by about a day before the meeting, so Tim is aware that we have to wait till the end of the month to discuss that. There are a couple different options and drawings right now, just all up for discussion at this time, and of course the 9 feet of dirt work is a big concern, so we have looked at a different drawing and possibility. I did stop at Wayne Nursing Home last week. I was on a personal appointment over there, and then I stopped at Wayne to kind of look at some of their things that they have, and I would just say they have a very nice facility. So that's where we are in that. We have worked on a grievance policy update. The board decided they wanted Kyle to look at that. Kyle has now looked at that after the meeting. I will bring it back to the board at the next meeting, and then they will bring it to you following if there's make any approval. Staffing updates as of today. I only have 1 night shift LPN or RN to hire for. Every other position has been hired for. Our contract gentleman, if anybody has met him, his name is Michael. He has been here since mid-February. His contract ended May 11th, 16th, somewhere in there. I have re-signed another contract with him, as he is doing such a great job. We really like him. He's fitting in well with our team, and so his contract now will go till August 16th. In the meantime, if we do hire, I just have to give a 2-week notice, and so that would pan out just fine, but we didn't want him to be searching and going somewhere else in the meantime. We did not do any of the quarterly updates for the staff that are down below due to the change of meetings because of a quorum. We will double up at the next meeting. My board attended the staff training that the gentleman presented here last week, Monday. There's lots of, I had about 9-10 questions for the gentleman, and he answered those questions. We'll bring back to the board of those questions and discussion and look at our bylaws a little bit to add and make some changes accordingly, but did learn a little bit more what the roles and responsibility of the board and the city council are. That is all I have, unless you have something today. Our census, just so you know, I have 1 male bed and 1 female bed, otherwise we are full on the nursing home side. And we have 11 beds out of 17 assisted living. We only have 14 rooms, but a husband just moved in, and so he roomed with the wife, and so we still have 4 available rooms at this time. So great census numbers right now, great staffing at this time, so super proud.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Julie. Police Chief Christie.
I think the numbers I gave you, is that 2024?
Yep.
Yeah, I just disregard that. I honestly printed the wrong line. but I will let you know that we had 17 traffic stops this last month, 3 arrests, just a few dog calls, I think 3, right, Andrew? So it's picking up a little bit. Andrew completed his firearms instructor course and passed. He now has to go to the rifle portion of this. That's next month for a week before he can actually become a firearms instructor. Then he will attend in June the apprenticeship where he will actually have to help teach a class, and then that's when they'll sign off on him being an instructor, which is gonna help us, the county, out tremendously, because time constraints on all this can actually get together at the same time to go qualify our yearly qualifications, so he'll be able to take us out there and, you know, if we have to go individually or if we go as a group, so that's good. The new office is coming along, we should be in there, not this week, but by the end of next week, if not the 3 weeks. Blake stopped in today, he's gonna terminate some of our cable for our internet and whatnot, but he has to order some things, so that probably won't be here till Monday. Bob, I just sent you an email regarding that tabletop for active shooter that we're having on the 10th, that's this Thursday. Finally getting that together after about 3 years of coordinating and planning, so God forbid we have to use it, but we're gonna have something, some type of plan, so.
Chrissy, can I ask what time that is?
It is 9 to 12. Yeah, just show up
Where?
at the fire hall.
Fire hall.
Yep, yep, so, you guys have any questions for me? Anything? All right,
Thank you, Christie. Economic Development Report.
I finished our quarterly reporting today to the USDA for our loans, and then I will be having an LD 840 meeting on April 21st, working on a loan for business equipment for a potential new business this summer, so. That's all I got.
Thank you. City Superintendent Report.
You're down there, obviously we're grading roads and stuff now, did some concrete work on 3rd and South Pine, and we've been doing some street sweeping, and we actually just got our back trailer back yesterday, so. Just normal maintenance so far.
City Attorney Kyle, you have anything right now?
Just a couple of things. So the Hart litigation where they're supposed to sell the house and then give us the proceeds, it's my understanding that that's supposed to be listed with Ms. Osborne up in Creighton here soon. So hopefully we see some movement on that. If not, there's a status hearing later in the month, so we can push things to getting things resolved with that. Got the request for the Bates trustee release, so that should get on file here shortly, and I also received in the mail the Ratliff warranty deed, so that should get filed tomorrow as well. So then we'll have to get another property to.
Yeah. I guess. Thanks, Kyle. Number 5, discussion, alarm evaluations, Clint Simmons and Dennis Johnson.
I don't believe Dennis isn't here. Luke came with me tonight, and actually Luke and I stopped in the city office today and had some meetings, some department head meetings, and went through all the equipment schedules and the auto schedules. We kind of buttoned everything up there, and I think we're going to save you some money on that piece of it. Obviously, why I'm here tonight is to discuss some of the property issues that we found, and then discuss some different options that we're going to save. We think we can save some money for you, for the city. So in front of you guys, you will have a sheet like this, and this is our Excel spreadsheet that kind of breaks out everything that we have insured. So the first 3 columns are currently how we have them insured. The second 3 columns are our recommendations, although we may end up making some more recommendations as we're discussing this throughout. So, and we're just going to go line item by line item on this. So we do have a report from Clayton, and Jeremy will get this as soon as we finish up. But he took, we took photographs, footages of everything, and this report will go into your file. That way we can always refer back to it in case we have a claim and there's ever any questions. Also, it's a nice report just for you guys to have to kind of know what the cost of replacement cost is on things. And we do this report for you every 5 years, so just FYI. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first building, We are making a recommendation on this, and this is in case of a total loss. So you're gonna see it's highlighted in red. Currently we have this insured for $901,000. It's a little short as far as value. In a total loss, it would be closer to that 1.5 million. But we can do what we call a functional replacement cost, so that's why it's highlighted. What a functional replacement cost is if this building is completely destroyed and we've deemed it destroyed in a catastrophic loss, we will bring the building back, but it will not be in what the square footage would remain the same, but it's not going to be, you know, the brick. So we would do like a chief engineered building. It would still serve every function that it serves today. It would just be with materials that are less costly to put up. So in doing that, it would raise it just slightly to $933,000. I will tell you, when we're done with this, there isn't going to be a cost to the municipality. We already know that just because of some of the other things that we've done as far as cost savings. So, and then also the content. So I sat down with the department heads and Jeremy. We've kind of made some determinations of what contents are in each building. So those are going to change a little bit. But those, with this building, it will remain the same, okay? The next building is the street department, the large building. The smaller building we're not going to insure, but the larger building we will. And this cost went up a little bit from 129 to 194. Contents remain the same, okay? And stop me if you guys have any questions, okay? Because I'm going to kind of fly through this. Then we have the street department equipment storage building. Building number 2. And this one, we decided to go ahead and delete this building. So we're removing that building, okay? I think that's, yes. Oh, I take that back. No, this one will be $76,000 with contents of $6,813. I'm sorry, it was the small one that we replaced, okay, or that we're deleting. Okay, so no changes, or just a slight change there in value. On Locust Street, we have this storage building, and again, on this one, we're insuring it at $378,000, and we're doing a functional replacement cost on this building because of the materials used. Okay, and that did go up slightly, and that's a fairly big building, about 5,000 square feet. So, okay. And then contents in that building, we actually reduced to $5,000 because there's not a lot of contents in there. Then we moved to the band shelter area, and this is over on Woodland Avenue. And this building,
Can you back up to that
sure,
West Locust Avenue?
yes,
You said that you reduced the contents to $5,000?
correct,
Okay.
from 66,000. And that was just discussion of what's inside that building. So anything inside that building that we can physically walk out with is what we're insuring. Now, if you're storing, vehicles and other larger equipment, we have that separately insured on another inland marine content coverage.
Okay.
That's just items that are stored inside that building that never leave the building.
Okay. Mine was just saying you recommended 66,000.
Correct. And now after meeting with the department heads today, we've now reduced that to 5,000.
Okay. You just got to.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So this will all get updated tonight into the system, and that it'll generate a new credit. So, yep. Okay. Band shelter. So this is $324,000. Originally $249,000. We did remove the contents. There's no contents in this building, and we increased property in the open. So what property in the open will entail for this location is playground equipment, outdoor lighting, picnic tables, You got volleyball courts and benches. So we did increase the PIO from $62,000 up to $80,000. So, okay. Staying at this same location, we have a large picnic shelter. Slightly increased from 63 to 72. Okay. We also have restrooms. That will remain the same at that $25,000 mark. We have the Girl Scout building. We did not have this insured prior, but we are going to insure that for $75,000. Okay. Okay, now we move over to Maple Street. This is where your pool's located. So with this structure, we did increase the building itself from 295,527 to 370,400. Contents remain the same, and then we did increase just because of inflation with the PIO. The property in the open is going to include all your playground equipment, your fencing, your lights, your poles, some signage, and then you have an outdoor Duracourt, basketball hoops, tennis, slides, lifeguard chairs, and all your equipment to ensure or to operate the pool. So that did go up from 353,000 to 515,000 and some change. Okay. Staying at that same location, we have this little building here that we're insuring, and we slight increase from 17,000 to 20,000, and the contents remain the same at $6,311. Okay. Then we have the restroom, and we did that remain the same, although there's no contents in that building, so we removed the contents in that building, so there will be no contents. Okay, then we have another picnic shelter, and this one is no change. And then the final item is this building, and it's a large storage unit. This is where you store your Christmas lights. We're not going to put coverage with Christmas lights in there. We're going to insure those as just an individual item because they do leave that building for a portion of the year. Okay, so then we move to Wellhouse 401, and this one we simply moved from property in the open because it is a structure. And this would be all the equipment that goes inside it, all your electrical panels. Typically, something like this gets hit by lightning, it'll blow the engine, it'll blow the panels, your pumps. So this one did not change in value, but we moved it to a building structure. Okay. The next item, now we go to Pride Baseball Field, and we have this like crow's nest. That did slightly increase from $5,180 to $23,050. Contents did go up slightly because we've got a pitching machine in there and a few other items, so we moved that from $1,562 to $5,000. And you're going to see a pretty significant jump here in your property in the open because of we've got a lot of fencing out there. We got playground equipment, electric scoreboards, which we have 3 of them, and then all your lights, poles, 16 sets of bleachers and batting cages. So a pretty good increase there from 125 to 460. Okay. And we've got a lot of small buildings out here, and they just went up slightly. So this first building here, it looks like we went from 5116 to 12,000. No contents. I think it's more your ball associations using those for storage. Another one, this one went up to 14,000. we have a nice protective bleacher cover. That one went from 3,400, almost 3,500 to 28,000. And we've got another one of those, 8,400 to 8,000, and one more. Okay, 3,497 to 8,000. Then we get into the concession stands. This first one, we had insured. Looks like for 38,000, a slight increase to 43,200, and then the contents remain the same on that one. And then we've got a little bit bigger concession stand here. We moved that from 73,000 to 96,000, and I believe those have bathrooms with them too. Yeah, they do. Again, $4,580 of contents. Then we move to the Butler building. So this is where the police station's eventually going to end up too. So we're shuffling some contents from the old police station, which is your power gen plant, old power gen plant, to this building. So we're shuffling some contents over there, but also we did have a slight increase from 1.2 million to 1,323,000. And then $90,000 of contents will eventually be there. We're going to go ahead and add that. So the next item is 891, and this one went up slightly because we are going to include the power unit generator there too. So that's all going to be within the building. Okay. Then we move to the solid waste transfer station. No change there. These two little buildings out here are a different location, but he just put them on there noting that we're not insuring those. You didn't have those insured prior either. So. And no contents at the transfer station. The water tower, no change. Value remained the same. All right. Now we kind of dig into the nitty gritty. So we've got the dollhouse, the clown dollhouse museum. Okay, so.
I said no comment on this, Kareem. I said we're gonna let the one gal answer the question here.
So, lots of questions here, for me anyway. First of all, the square footage, Luke and I took off and we walked it out. We don't have 33,000 square feet here, but we have a replacement cost of 505,000. Now, I personally think with a 1,200 square foot building, it would be much more cost effective to you as a city to ensure this is a function replacement cost. So we could build this building back. It wouldn't be, the brick structure or the concrete structure. It would be, again, a chief constructed building. You can put it wherever you want to put it. And at 1,200 square foot, we can build that back at 300,000, not 505,000. It makes more sense, okay? So if you guys are okay with that, we'll do that. But the other quick question is contents in that building.
That's always the question.
Yeah. So typically, I insure a lot of museums. And museums are interesting on how you insure because most of that you cannot replace. So, do you insure the contents at all?
Nope.
I don't think so either. Because if that building burns to the ground, well, you're insuring something that you're not going to be able to replace it. So, but I needed to hear it from you before I took it off. And so did Jeremy. And Luke. We all wanted to hear it.
You got played.
Yep, no, we've talked about that before. It was all given to us,
Sure.
so we didn't lose any money.
Okay.
Would we be sad? Very sad.
Oh,
but
sure.
Nothing we
Absolutely.
could do about it.
Yeah.
And it will never happen.
Right. Absolutely not. And there's no use paying premium on that if it's going to be that way.
Right.
And are we okay with functional replacement costs
Yeah.
if it did burn down, which it won't? But if it did, we would.
It burnt once, so.
I don't wanna know that. Alright, so we'll keep our fingers crossed. So we're gonna reduce that to 300,000 and not even insure the contents. So the second dollhouse, number 2, do we want to do the same thing with contents?
Right, same
Okay.
stuff.
Okay, so we will no longer insure the contents in there. Okay, perfect. Very easy stuff. All right, then we go to the next building, which is your sewer plant. No change here, although we did add 20, because we've got 2 pumps that have been resalvaged. What?
Rebuilt.
Yeah, rebuilt. So we went ahead and added $25,000 of contents to that building. We've got the electronic sign. We did increase this from 4,900. Wait a second. I'm sorry, no. This one we did not change the value. We left that at 32,000, so no change there. These 2 signs, you've got a couple of signs coming into town though. We had those insured at $4,900 a piece. We just increased those from $49,49 to $20,000 total. Okay. We had an equipment storage building. We increased this slightly, and we did add $15,000 of contents in that side of that building. The library, another interesting building. So you had this. So the value of the building remained the same. The question was contents, and you had a lot of content coverage on this building. And you know, in talking with Jeremy, this is probably the most expensive contents that I've seen insured. I just finished up Broken Bow, and they weren't even close to this in content. So we did decide to reduce that content from over 800,000 down to $500,000. Now, if the library board comes in and says and can prove to us that we have $826,000 of contents, we can always move it back up between now and whatever. But I think $500,000 is plenty on those contents.
We actually talked about going lower even.
Yeah, we thought about going lower, and we can lower it too. So if Jeremy finds out, if the board comes back and says, you know, we have $250,000 of contents, and again, contents would be your shelving, your furniture, and your books. Now those books, I have no idea. Every book's a little bit different. I've had some library boards tell me that if everything was destroyed, that they'd just go electronic books only. They wouldn't even replace the books.
Yeah.
So, but it's every community is a little bit different on how they perceive that. So.
But does this include the computers too?
Yes.
And all the other
Yeah.
pieces
TVs
of
all around
equipment
us.
that we use?
Yeah. Yeah.
Laser printer, 3D
Yeah.
printer.
That'd be more valuable.
Yeah, the laser cutter's about 25, 30,000. All that. I mean, but still, we're talking $500,000. I mean, that's still a lot. $500,000 is a lot of. That's a lot of tables and books.
Yeah, I don't know how you get to 826.
I mean, well, you ask yourself, how much would that change our premium?
For every 100,000 that we're reducing, it's going to save you about $350. So you know you're close to $1,000 reduction there
A year.
a year. Yeah. You know, you take that over 10 years, that's quite a bit of money on top of everything else we're doing. So, okay. All right. Oh, here's the biggie.
You happy
Well-
with 500,000 or lower or higher or what?
Well, if you're saving every 100,000, you're saving $1,000. a
No,
year.
every 100,000 about 350 to
Oh,
350
okay.
to 375. So on this one, you're going to save about $1,000 by reducing.
To 500.
Yeah,
But if we reduce it to 350,
you're going to probably save close to another, you know,
250, you have another $1,000.
yeah. And again,
Probability of it being
The
destroyed
the
is
only
what?
way we're gonna know for sure is for somebody to go around and take
Yeah,
each room and write everything down and do a value.
yeah.
mhm.
I mean, or we just go with 500,000 and that's what we have.
I'd say we go to a 500,000 and change.
We can
it.
change it, right? We can
Yeah, you can change
it.
it anytime. Yep.
Are you okay with that, Tyler?
oh, I'm not going to argue with it.
But are you
Do you
okay?
wanna be here with the clipboard writing everything?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to argue. No, I mean, no, I think I'm fine with that.
Okay,
Okay. Perfect.
That's kind of how you ask yourself,
right.
Yeah.
What are you gonna?
$500,000 is a lot of money in that world of
Yeah.
books and computers. You know, I know that the two big ticket items are the laser.
Laser, but I still like, I mean, but I don't know what books cost. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know what books cost, I couldn't say.
it get expensive.
Yeah, oh yeah.
$500
She's
a
spending
month.
$500 a month on books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I agree that if they did burn up, we should go to electronic, but, which there is already, but
Yeah.
I would hate to see them burn up. And the probability is,
Yeah. Let's
yeah,
nail it.
the
Okay.
probability, I'd probably go with 250, but
Right.
Emotion will go with 500.
Yes.
Sounds good. Okay, now we got the police station, which is your old power gen building. And, you know, Clayton made a note in here, he didn't change the value of this, but we're gonna change the value of this tonight, I think, because it just doesn't make sense to insure this the way we're insuring it. And in talking with Jeremy, he said, boy, I'd love to have a 7,180 square foot Morton building for more storage. And that makes more sense. So if we were to, and again, we would have to be completely destroyed on this building. So a partial loss wouldn't count, but a partial loss will still give you replacement costs on that roof and windows, which is probably the most important piece of that. So you're not actual cash value, you are replacement costs, but on the total loss, you know, then we look at the other. So if we went on this police station or old power gen building to a Morton type building, we could rebuild this building back at $1,795,000. Okay, so you're gonna, I mean, we did, Luke and I did some quick math. That's probably gonna save you close to $7 grand. It's kind of a no-brainer. So I would make that
From
recommendation.
3.2 or 3.3 really.
3.3, yeah, yeah. So, I mean, the insurance cost there is a lot, and especially on, you know, reducing that. And still be able to have full replacement costs on a partial loss. So, okay, so we'll make that change. And then the final item, we've got the lift
so the
station.
contents of that is still 63,000?
No, I'm sorry, the contents went to zero.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause we're moving everything over. Now if you start to use that for storage, Jeremy's just gonna let me know, you know, what he's storing in there and how much he wants to add, and we can change that, you know, as he starts to put stuff in there, so, okay? And then the last item, we just didn't have that on the policy, was this, little lift station, you know, the building, the pumps, the electrical panels, $30,000, so we'll get that added, so, okay? Any other questions? And again, I kind of flew through that, but knowing that I kind of went through everything with Jeremy, and if you do have any questions, ask him, and if he needs further explanation, I can sure get on the phone with you or explain it to him better, so.
We have a representative right downtown.
And you got a representative right downtown that can make a call, you bet. So, yeah,
He's on a motorcycle right now.
what's that?
He's riding his motorcycle somewhere.
Oh, Dennis.
Anything else? Any questions?
So how much did you save us?
I don't know yet.
Really? Oh,
Because
because of the
I'll be
changes?
honest with you, I don't know, because we changed even some deductibles. So on your auto policy, you had some comp and collision that were 500 and some comp and collision that were 1,000. And, you know, Luke and I are both in that insurance business. It just makes sense to have everything the same. So we're gonna move those to $1,000. We moved a lot of values of the vehicles. So some of those vehicles were, you know, we dropped the values sometimes in half. So we figured close to $200,000 in value of vehicles. So until we run the numbers, we'll have it here to you soon. So yeah. But then on the other side of it, on some of that PIO that we were underinsured, we're gonna bring some value back too. So, but overall, you're gonna save some money. So,
Always good to hear.
all right, sounds good. Perfect. Thank you.
Number 6, proclamation, Arbor Day, April 25th, 2025. This is the official proclamation, whereas in 1872, the Nebraska Board of Agriculture established a special day to be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world. And whereas trees can be a solution to combating climate change by reducing the erosion of our precious topsoil by winds and water, cutting heating and cooling costs, moderating the temperature, cleaning the air, producing life-giving oxygen, and providing habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable source, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, beautify our community. And whereas trees, whenever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now therefore, I, Robert Smith, Mayor of the City of Plainview, do hereby proclaim April 25th, 2025 as Arbor Day in the City of Plainview. And I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. Dated this 8th day of April, 2025. Okay. Number 7, discussion action, Manor Administration contract effective 2/1/2025. Janine, do you have something you'd like to say about change?
There's just one change that I requested from our board. There was some language in there, so I asked Kyle to change that language. I think there's 2 words, actually. So that's the only change I requested after reviewing what he came up with.
Did everybody see what that was?
Yes, I did.
Any more discussion?
One thing that I'd like to point out, based on how this is reflected in the agenda, it says effective February 1st of 2025, but the actual opening paragraph says it's effective the date the last signatory executes this agreement. So I just didn't want anyone to be confused about that. So it'll be effective whenever this gets signed.
Does the back pay go back then, because the Philip Council meeting said it would go back?
I mean,
Yep.
the actual agreement makes the effective date whenever it's signed, so, I mean, if it needs to be adjusted, that would have to be, modified, but the actual text of this administrator agreement would be effective if it was signed today, it'd be today. So,
Then I do ask for an amendment, because this has gone on too long. That's
We usually do back pay too. We just get delayed and pass, so. That's usually what we do.
I mean, everything got changed to the way we discussed it last time, so I make a motion to approve the Manor Administration contract with the amendment that it backdates to February 1st, 2025.
Second,
I'll second that.
Sarah,
Nay.
Alan,
Aye.
Green,
Aye.
Jody.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes 3-1.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you,
Thank
Julie.
you.
Very, very hard to go through some of the stuff you went through, so
Thank you.
good job.
Number 8, discussion action, approval of advisory board recommendations for pool staff.
Oh, yeah, so we met, went through all the applicants, going total, everyone that applied, that position, so we have some, most of the attorneys. Including 4 staff and 2, everyone set the position, so. Returning, Allison and Bailey and Mallory for management, so this year we did a little bit different. We went Allison as manager, Bailey as assistant, and then Mallory kind of made as a deputy assistant manager, and that's just so they know when there's 2 assistant managers there, they know who's officially in charge. So, just because they were saying they had a problem with not know who to listen to, so we just, and we did 1 year's of service, so.
Any questions?
Now, each year that they're there, do they get a small raise? So like years of service for the returning lifeguards, do they get like 25 cent or 50 cent raise?
So if you look down there, oh, yeah, that's next item. Yeah, it's on the next sheet.
Oh, okay, I just wanted, okay. Sorry, I bumped it, my bad.
No, this isn't for old people because I can't hear.
Yeah, I just, they need a mic up there. Yeah, they need a mic.
I'll make a motion to approve the advisory board recommendations for
Yeah.
pool staff.
I'll second.
Number 9, discussion action approval of wages for pool staff.
Okay.
Okay, so, everyone did get a raise, manager $16.50, assistant manager $15, deputy assistant manager $14.50, and then you see all these 14s are all the returning staff.
Okay,
And then the 13-15s are all those are the 4 bottom, are all new. This is their first year, will be just certified and stuff,
Okay.
so.
What kind of increase is that?
I believe,
$1 more?
what's that?
So like $1 more?
On average, yeah, I'd have to look exactly. 50.
She had 16.
Okay, and then Bailey made 14,
last
yeah,
year.
so,
Okay.
yeah.
but with
Cause
minimum
then next
wage
year.
going up,
Yeah, it
kind of
doesn't,
just equaled out,
and
right?
I've talked to both of them too, and they're both happy with it.
Oh, that's
So,
good.
Yep, they came in and talked to me.
I make a motion to approve the wages for the new pool staff for 2025.
Second. Sarah.
Aye.
Tyler.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Jody.
Aye.
Number 10, discussion action approval of advisory board recommendations for park staff.
And those, Dylan's returning, and then the other 2 are gonna be new this year, and then I would ask for Gail Slane again for cleaning the bathrooms. I reached out to him, and he said he'd be glad to do it for what he did last year, and he didn't have any complaints, and had a lot of confidence on his work, so.
It was nice to just have one person in charge of doing the bathrooms and holding one person responsible
Yeah,
for it.
and they knew what was going on when there was a question, and
Yeah.
yeah, it made it a lot easier for us, I know.
He does good work.
Make a motion to approve the advisory board recommendation for park staff.
Second. Sarah.
Aye.
Tyler.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Jody.
Aye.
Number 11, discussion action approval of wages for park staff.
So Gail said he'd keep the same, and then Dylan, he's returning, he got a raise, and then the girls are, this is their first year.
Making a motion to approve the wages for the park staff.
Second. I'll second.
Sarah.
Aye.
Tyler.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Jody.
Aye.
Number 12, discussion action Keno grants. First one up is the Clown Down Museum. Electric updates to new edition in the amount of $2,977.
The total cost was $6,227, just in case you want to know.
What we got in our, just curiosity? You know, now you know.
40,000.
Okay, I mean, just rough.
No, I've got some that haven't been paid out yet, so
Less.
Okay.
probably at least, yeah,
I mean,
there's enough to cover what's.
oh, sounds good, I
Yeah.
just like to ask,
Period.
cause we've had these discussions in the past.
Yeah, no, there's
Uh,
enough for that.
I'll make a motion to approve the Keno grant for the Clown Doll Museum electrical updates to new edition for $2,977.
Second.
I'll second.
Sarah. Tyler.
Aye,
Can
Green.
I vote on that?
it doesn't matter.
Then I'll say yes.
You can abstain.
Jody.
Aye.
Okay, next up is junior pirate running. Girls on the run registration fees, amount of $1,300, added 4/7 of 2025.
Yeah, so Jen's actually here to talk about it. I had later, I had to do some checking on it to see if it qualified for the official thing for Keno. It does, it's an activity for youth and education. And then I know I had some confusion on the donations, but Jen, if you would like to explain how that worked, or, 'cause
Sure. It is a state, funded program, and they initially charged me so much per girl. And so what I've done in the past is ask the families to contribute $50 to the program, but the state charges me $125 per girl to be part of this nationally funded program. When I am able to raise money locally to help support this, I kind of get it at a discounted rate. So that's kind of why I've approached it that way, and I've sought out donations from other organizations in the community. I kind of included that in my grant paperwork. I did not get as much as I had hoped for, so that's kind of why I'm asking for a little more than what I anticipated. But the $1,300 is the balance that we have for the 24 girls that I have in the running club right now.
Did you say this was a nationally funded?
It's
Or
a,
just
it's a national program,
yeah.
but it's
Not funded
in
by
the
that.
state of Nebraska, yes.
So when you say state, it's like a nonprofit, though. It's not like
Yeah,
it's just
absolutely.
of Nebraska. Yeah.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So the money that we're giving would go for this, it would go to the
The-
state, so Lincoln,
It goes to the registration for the 24 girls in Plainview that are in this program.
We're encouraging families to do this
Yes,
by not
yeah,
making them pay the $125.
absolutely. And I have people who tell me that they can't participate if they have to pay the full $125 fee that the state puts on me to charge.
I make a motion to approve the Keno grant for Girls on the Run registration fees, $1,300.
I'll second that.
Sarah?
Did you see the little thank you that we?
Yes.
Okay, great. All
Yeah.
right, yes, we appreciate it very much, so thank you very much.
Tyler?
Aye.
Green?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
13, discussion action approval of fireworks for Clown Festival on June 7th.
I'd just like your permission, since it's outside the normal dates, they've already been bought, but, you know,
So we gotta do it.
you got, we got that town,
Go outside town.
yes.
Can move 'em.
Go across the street from me, it'll be fine.
I'll make a motion to approve fireworks for Clown Festival June 7th.
Second.
I second.
Sarah?
Aye.
Tyler?
Aye.
Green?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Number 14, discussion action resolution number 719, street closure for the Clown Festival on June 7th.
So this one's just to close the street there by the band shell where we got the food trucks on Saturday. Just kind of from the corner, basically to the scout houses, just so it's safe for people to go to the food trucks and when they're playing sand volleyball and stuff, so they won't be driving through there during the day.
I'll make a pass a resolution 719, street closure of Clown Festival June 7th.
Second.
I'll second.
Sarah?
Aye.
Tyler?
Aye.
Green?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Number 15, discussion action resolution number 720, street closure Highway 20 car show on June 14th.
This is for the,
Yep. Car show, yep.
yep, I'll make a motion to pass resolution 720, street closure Highway 20 car show June 14th.
Second.
I second.
Sarah?
Aye.
Tyler?
Aye.
Green?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Number 16, discussion action, special designated liquor licenses. The first one up is the Plainview Chamber of Commerce, 6/7/2025 from 8 AM to midnight for sand volleyball and cornhole tournaments.
Same, Ashley's not here, but it's the same map that we had last year. It'll all be fenced in with snow fence. We just leave it up for the whole day, just to make it easier for everybody. We have volleyball in the morning and then cornhole at night, and they just leave it kind of go between there, so.
And everybody's respected it.
Yep, yep.
I'll make a motion to pass the special designated liquor license for the Plainview Chamber of Commerce.
Second.
Second.
Sarah? Tyler?
Aye.
Green?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Next up is Keystone Bar, 6/6/2025 from 3 PM to 2 AM, fireman's dance. Can we group these together? All of them?
You want-
Or group them all
Yeah,
together?
'cause there's a lot of
Okay,
Some of them probably won't happen. I just put them in there
But
just
if you
in
give
case.
permission, you don't care whether it happens or not.
What's that?
If you give permission, you don't care whether it happens or not.
Well, I'm
You
just
need
saying, like,
permission to do
like
it.
Just in
the one,
case,
yeah, like the one on the Friday night before the clown show, or, car show. It's there if we feel a need, but not necessarily gonna do it, so.
Probably weather dependent, I'm sure, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And the one with the, since you're putting them all together with the highway, the car show, that one during the day would be the open container permit like I've done in the past. Which I have plenty of people that
And
are
again,
all over.
no issues, not,
No,
I think,
I've
I think it was
never,
great.
I've never had an issue yet.
Yeah.
So that's a good deal.
No, that's awesome. license for the Keystone Bar, including all the dates listed below.
Second.
Second.
Sarah? Tyler?
Aye.
Reed?
Aye.
Julie? Number 17, discussion action removal of Boy Scout house.
Alright, so this is something we've been talking about all winter long. We talked to it with our rec board. It's in some disrepair. We got some people go look at it. You can see through the walls, the windows are broke out. It's essentially, we either need to invest in it, which is costly, or we need to probably remove it, because we probably have a nuisance there, especially with the broken windows and stuff and the kids playing there. I've even talked to some old Boy Scouts about it. Talked to Kurt, he's an Eagle Scout. Talked to Brooke Curtis, he's an Eagle Scout. Brooke said, normally, I'd say I'd love to save it, but he said it's in pretty bad disrepair. He'd like to go through and see if there's any nostalgic items in there that he would have. I said, no problem. The rec board's in agreement, but if there's any, you want to suck money into it, we sure can. So.
I think we got Bruce's blessing. I think we're.
Especially Brooke too.
Yep, and Brooke.
Yeah, Brooke.
Yep.
I mean,
They need to be the one.
not the only ones, but
They were diehard Eagle Scouts, and that's.
yeah.
It's better than seeing it deteriorate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's squirrels coming out of it the other day.
That's the thing. You can actually go inside and look out, and then there's things living in there that it's not going for it.
Not to mention the door sometimes comes open and we have to check that every single time to make sure that everything's okay, so
Yeah.
we're getting called out at 12, 1, 2 in the morning to go check this out, so.
And I told Jeremy, I said, I thought that roof looked pretty good.
Well, we just
It's
did.
the only
Well, yeah.
thing that looks good on
We
it.
just did it 6 years ago.
No, that was a Girl Scout house.
Oh, I thought we did that, and then the shingles started coming
Yeah, it
off.
was.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Did we? Okay.
Yeah.
Right before you came,
Okay.
maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
It truly is the only thing.
It looks
Yeah.
good,
Had a
that
couple
part.
donations.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to remove Boy Scout house.
Second.
Second.
Sarah? Tyler?
Aye.
Reed?
Aye.
Jody? Number 18, discussion action, accept bid for sale of property at 222 East Locust Avenue, 4/7/2025.
When does the bidding end?
Right when it started.
You want to start auction? So I showed up here. I had some people. It was known about. People come and talk to me, had interest. Told me they'd be here. For some reason, nobody showed. I called Kyle and said nobody was here, and so he suggested do it again and then sell it. If that doesn't work, sell it by a realtor. Is that option 3?
Or provide just like a set purchase agreement of whoever comes in first to the city office and signs a contract for X amount, gets it. But I'll prepare 2 resolutions so you folks can decide what you wanna do with it next meeting.
I'd like to try auction again. I think maybe there's a couple
Yeah.
weeks from when the official maybe come out and we'll advertise it more even and we'll see. Because I know there's 3 or 4 people who were interested, so I was just
Yeah.
surprised it's
Right.
just a day.
Okay, so there's no action on that one. Number 19, council comments. Anybody got anything?
I'm glad that the lights got fixed in the little park. It's nice to have all 5 of them going. And, I already thanked you for the pens. Did your news article didn't get in the paper yet?
Last week.
Did I
Should've
miss
been
it?
here.
Yep, you did.
You were gone for a week pottering,
I'm
You missed
not
it.
ottering.
whatever you do.
Painting.
Painting pot.
Okay, good. Did you have any feedback from that?
I have not heard anything. I was hoping you guys would be the one with the feedback, so I kind of hopefully directed that way. And people come talk to you guys about it and,
I haven't heard anybody. No, it was a good article. Thank you.
Thank you.
How are we doing on the city church card?
I will have cards probably next week. But then we'll have to have some sort of agreement by Kyle written up for everybody to go over to sign so they know the do's and don'ts of using the card and what they can use it for and can't use it for, but,
Did you get it through the bank here?
yeah, I went through Midwest Bank, they have it's specifically for municipalities, there's no annual fee on it. So then we can add cards as we need, I just have 3 for now, but if we need to add more, we can, there's no anything extra to that.
Sounds good.
I'm in the final stages of getting it set up right now, so.
Sounds good, thank you.
you want to give an update on our credit card things? How's that going? Transition.
Oh, pay for it?
Yep.
Fairly well, actually. A lot of people that have been using the online option. I think this is gonna be the hard month of people realizing their card is not on file anymore at the city office, so, this is the first month we haven't had their cards on file. But we have a lot of people that do use the online option, which is nice. And most people, when you say there's a fee, they just say, oh, okay, like they're okay with it, but it's been nice. The reporting on it is very nice. It's a great double check, to make sure we don't miss anything that was brought in. We can put it in two different, put in our cash register and in pay for it, and then it's a double check to make sure we didn't miss any, any payment that came in, it didn't not get put in the register or something along those lines. But Melissa and I really like it. I don't know if you've logged on to it, but Melissa and I really like it. It's really easy to use, so. But we've had quite a few people use the online payment system, so
That's the
it's
best.
been nice.
That's great. Good, thank you. Any other council comments? Okay, we'll move on to number 20, public comments. Any comments from the public?
I would just like to say thank you for helping to resolve the issues with the contract for Julene. As a past employee, I'm very proud of what we have here. And as many nursing homes start to fall off the map, I really think we've got a really, really good opportunity to grow. And as a board, we have all come together. We all support Julene, the employees, and you all 100%. So thank you again.
I've got a public comment. I appreciate that I'm allowed to address Plainview City Council. Y'all tried to suppress my right to do that before, and now we've got a new state law. Coincidence, huh? No way. You know, you folks was offered free lighting and installation for your flags, and you dismissed that. Instead, you also thrown me in jail a couple times. You folks show some respect for the flag, maybe I'll show you a little. The flag east of town, if the moon's not shining, the reflectors on the highway are brighter than that flag is. You can't tell that's an American flag. Now, the shitty attorney Bruce said, the American Legion says that as long as you can tell it's an American flag, that's good enough. What he didn't tell you was that that's the minimum. What is preferred is that a flag has a designated light. You don't have to do that, certainly. You could have done it for free, but for some reason, y'all wouldn't do that. So I would suggest if you're going to do the minimum, do the minimum. First off, they put a solar panel out there to light up that flag and set that solar panel facing north. You got to be an idiot. Now, since you took down the flag west of town, because you don't need all them flags in a row, you put both them solar panels out there, yonder on east, where they don't light up that flag. Do better, or take it down and leave it the hell down. I don't know what kind of deal you got, state of Nebraska. They tell me that the baseball diamond and all that city property, but the football field's supposed to be state property. So certainly you've got some deal with the state where you're borrowing each other's land. I asked the insurance man, he said he's aware of that. Must be okay. I mean, the school's playing football there. Using the concession stand across the road, I thought that was city property. I don't know where your lines are going. But you know that cable that's on the east side of the concession stand? Sagging there on the ground, ain't doing nothing but making a trip hazard. That's all it's doing. I talked to the fellows working out there mowing and stuff. They said they'd take care of it, but naturally they didn't. Now they've moved a whole bunch of cables and restrictions from driving up on the grass there around the concession stand, but they left that one cable sagging on the ground for folks to trip on. You gotta do better. And you know, this fella here says he was a Marine once. You know, they pulled over somebody for not having proper registration. Plates was expired. The fellow was blocked from home. Had that vehicle towed. Towed it all the way to Randolph. After about 4 days, the fees was $600 to get that car back. So now you cost somebody a vehicle. And that's all it was registration.
No,
Sticker on the plate.
he didn't have insurance.
No insurance.
It's against the law to drive a vehicle on the road without insurance.
I could have put insurance on that vehicle
But
and
you
drove it a block. I could have pulled it a block, wouldn't have had to been driven.
How about you come and
The
talk
man
to me?
tells me,
Hey.
how about you let me speak?
This
You're
is
not
a
done.
this is a police matter.
Right,
Come and
please,
talk
madam.
to me.
I'm making a public comment, shut the hell up, Christie.
I'll tell you something, Billy Ray.
No, Christie, you don't, you can tell me after I'm done speaking.
Finish what you
They
got to
tell
say.
me, I appreciate that, because that's the way it ought to be.
I'm waiting.
I'd say let's
The man
move on
tells
to-
me-
Let's move on to Vicky's comments.
Now, wait a
here.
minute, I thought I was
But
making a
we-
public comment here, and I
We do have a
had
time, we do have a time
Time
limit,
limit.
and we're not gonna stay here all night.
what's my time left?
5 minutes and you're over.
Yeah.
Am I?
So,
Yes.
Where's your timer?
Right there on the corner.
where am I going? And it's already shut off, so it's over.
Then I'll stop.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
What do you use the Girl Scout house for?
The farmer's market uses it during the summer.
Sure, for $75,000. Thank you.
Anyone else? Make a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
Aye.
No, I mean, hit me with it. What do you got?